Hi, I'm Danny Ecker with your Chicago Business Today Midday Report. If you live in the city of Chicago, you likely were notified this week that Integrys Energy Services won the contract to be the city's new electricity provider and that you could opt out if you choose. Now the city has revealed details of the competing bids to provide the juice to about 1 million area residents. It turns out that Exelon Corp's retail sales unit was a distant runner-up. Our Steve Daniels joins me now to help explain why. Steve, what did we learn about the competing bids and why the city made the choice it did?
Well, we learned that the city made the choice they did because the bids weren't close. Exelon's bid was nearly 60% higher than Integrys's was, but the actual price that people would have paid in Exelon's case would have only been 2% higher. So what it mainly demonstrates is that the margins that these retailers get on these big aggregation deals is very, very thin.
2 percentage points. I mean, I guess that also demonstrates how intense this competition was to get this contract, right?
Well, it wasn't. I mean, there were 8 companies that expressed interest in bidding. The city narrowed it down to the 2, and then had them compete and actually offer prices. And the prices, while like I said, the bidding was far apart in terms of the margins that the 2 were willing to collect. The actual price that people would have paid really wouldn't have been that much different.
Right, and you mentioned these are razor-thin margins anyway. Integrys says, I mean, their bid was sort of in line with other deals they've seen for other municipalities and maybe done for other municipalities. I mean, how small are these margins that some of these companies can actually make off this?
Very. I mean, we're talking about a deal that was at $54 a megawatt hour, which is kind of an energy price that how these guys sort of compare things. The margin that Integrys is making is about $1.40. So on a $55. So in Exelon's would have been about $2.30. So Exelon's executives have complained to Wall Street analysts about what they think is irrational pricing in Illinois' aggregation market, and then more generally in the commercial and industrial market as well. They're willing to do $2 to $4. They're not willing to go below $2. Obviously, many other suppliers are perfectly willing to go below 2.
Right, and got them the contract. So at least in the near term, it means the power prices are going to be going down a bit for Chicagoans.
Quite a bit, yeah. At least in the early months of this deal, and then over the course of the whole thing, about 10% savings for 2 years is what the estimate is off of what ComEd's price bill would be. So yeah, I mean it's reasonable savings.
Okay, all right, Steve, good stuff.
Sure.